From the Standing Stone Farm Studio right outside downtown Nashville, it's time for the most ridiculous sports podcast in the world. So sit back, relax, and listen as Bobby Butler and Brandon Bond crack open a cold one and talk all things hockey, pop culture, and complain about everyday situations. It's the Pucks Out Podcast on the Penalty Box Radio Network.
Welcome into the most ridiculous podcast in sports and pop culture. I'm Bobby. He's Brandon.
Heyo.
You can find us on the three majors of social media at Pucks Out Pod. Now it's cracking open cold Mayday beer, and let's get after it. As always, Pucks Out is powered by Mayday Brewery, the official beer Pucks Out podcast. Check them every Tuesday for Singo and Thursday for Bingos. It's always a great time over there. Today we are continuing our preseason previews. We've got the Atlantic Division Part 2. We've got some news from in and out of the league. We've got a joke of the week from our own backyard and much, much more. How you doing this week, bud?
I'm doing good, bud. How you doing, bro?
Good. Tired, but good.
Man.
Long day. I'm excited to be getting a beer. Excited to talk some sports and whatnot.
No doubt.
But yeah, another week down, another week closer to the NHL season, which we're going to talk about a little bit. Quick fit check, just rocking my winter classic hat, the dope ass hat. It's one of those, those hats that just fit right.
Yeah,
like, you
you
put it on,
just
you're like,
love
this is a comfortable hat.
Yeah, bro, and you gravitate back to them, even though you have so many. You try not to wear them, multiple times. But yeah, I feel you on that one. Just regular old shirt, bro, and then got the went old school with the 2016 Cubs World Series hat, bro.
Nice. Hey, you're repping a team that will stay in Chicago. I think the White Sox are looking at moving out of Chicago here soon, they said.
Were they even in Chicago? They're on the south side of Chicago. So,
well,
I'm just kidding. No, that's I don't really know the history of the White Sox, like how long they've been there, all that kind of stuff. Obviously, there's some, definitely some diehard Chicago, Sox fans. So, we will see if they get up to move before, Oakland does,
yeah,
we'll have to see.
Yeah. Right now, the two options for the White Sox, I just did a quick look up. A, they would move in this Soldier Field while something gets built. But the two options are moving out of Guarantee Rate Field when they're in 2028, moving out to Arlington Heights, I think they said, or to Nashville.
Hey, I'll take it, dude.
So either somewhere else in Chicago or Nashville, which is...
I'll be a Sox fan, bro. I'll be a Sox fan. Let's go.
Yeah.
I got plenty of White Sox, dude. This is sick. I'm fucking sad, dude.
But all right, let's jump straight into the news.
Everything you need to know about what's happening on the ice. It's time for news from inside the boards.
All right, we have 21 days, for those of you that don't know. That is 3 weeks. 3 weeks until NHL Puck Drop. I had to do the math in my head real quick. I was like, wait, is that 4 weeks? No, that's 3 weeks. So yeah, we are getting ever closer to the best time of the year. We also have some new information about the Mike Babcock phone gate situation.
Yes.
If you want to give us a little update on that.
Yes. We always said, potentially more to it. Babcock has not proven himself trustworthy thus far. But I felt like we went, middle of the ground, and we maybe don't have enough information. A lot of what is followed up on is by them, after this kind of happened and the podcast comes out again. They recorded the initial podcast that reported about Babcock on Sunday. Biz asked for a couple more sources Monday before he felt comfortable releasing it Tuesday. Both Whitney and Biz had several current and former players verify what was being reported was true. There was no ambiguity that this happened. Reading the tea leaves, some firsthand sources they had were from rookies, young players. Both guys kept saying, telling an 18-year-old to hand you their phone is such a horrible abuse of your power dynamic. Shitty stuff. Biz was surprisingly on a Blue Jackets defensive position this podcast. He made two pleas. First, he asked the media to stop asking the players these questions. It happened in the offseason. It was addressed in the offseason. You can't bother these players all year about it. They didn't do anything wrong. Second, he took offense to Whitney saying Jarmo should get canned, said he didn't like Jarmo's statement, but that Jarmo has a big heart and took a big leap giving a guy a second chance and shouldn't lose his job for it. I think that that's a fair statement, right? I mean, hire somebody bad, Most surprisingly, apparently several of these incidents happened at Babcock's house, which was way different than the original telling of you come into your workplace boss's office type of deal. And then you go to a completely different shift of come over to my home where I hold all of the cards type of deal. That does kind of change it up for me. And at least one of these incidents reported to by Whitney, a young player was invited for lunch, told to take out his phone, had Babcock flip through his photos, then told him to leave without lunch. So very sociopathic esque type of deal. An interesting point that Whitney made, aside from, any obvious partying pics of girlfriends, whatever, private life, a player being in the closet. Now, that is something that in the hockey world is definitely very difficult to go through. We've talked with hockey players that kind of had to experience that in the past. So absolutely, even if, we can all say, oh, well, it's 2023, it's going to be all good. We're not living inside the locker rooms with those guys type of deal. So, yeah, I mean, you don't want to show your phone, your phone photos on your phone are private and should remain that way, unless otherwise, you decide to share them. Some other stories about Babcock was shared. One older player who hasn't quite cracked the NHL yet said he was sitting on the bench in an empty arena, taping his stick before the final preseason game in Anaheim. Babcock came in, sat next to him, and said something along the lines, "This is pretty amazing, isn't it?" When the player agreed, Babcock said, "Soak it in. It's the last time you'll ever be on an NHL bench." What?
All right.
Okay.
So to offer a little bit of clarification on that last bit, listen, Babcock's a monster, not defending him, but that last thing right there was a quote from when during the lockout when AHL players were playing, and he went up to an AHL player and apparently he said it in jest. And but now it's still a dickish thing to say to
honestly, Bobby,
player.
I've lost more respect for you trying to bring that weak ass garbage in my house, dude. Like I wasn't gonna.
I don't agree with it. I'm just
don't play devil's advocate for that statement. A joke in bad taste or whatever. I feel like Babcock's done enough in the public light to. Whatever he said about that statement has no credibility now. I
agree. I'm just giving it context, but I agree. Shitty thing. Shouldn't have said it. It makes him. He's still a bad person. But given the listeners context, so they can make up their own minds
about a Babcock story that's been out there forever. Bob, you're defending him.
Just doing my.
You're going to coach
doing
house.
My journalistic duty.
No. Oh, anyway, no. But seriously.
Listen, Mike Babcock is our moneymaker on Coach House, okay? We need to keep we got to keep him coming.
Okay, Bobby. So what is the best way to keep our moneymaker making money for us? We get him fired now. We don't give people the facts and options to go out and decide whether Babcock is bad. No, we need the squeaky wheel to squeak into Columbus and Jarmo's ear until he gets fired. Landing him where, Bobby? Prime real estate, baby. His room is still open. Coach House. He coming in like like Roy Williams, dude, after that win. But yeah. But seriously, a lot of the things that we talked about that like, hey, this could really go either way. Maybe Biz is trying to, blow some stuff up, spitting chicklets, just talking smack. A lot of this secondary reporting that, again, very clear. Biz was like, yeah, what, what the coaching staff and the Blue Jackets and Jarmo said was accurate. But what we didn't get context with is you have Johnny Gaudreau go out there and make a statement like, oh no, dude, it was all on the up and up. He just wanted to see pictures of my family. Well, that probably was how Johnny Gaudreau's conversation went, because why, you can't pull a power move on the guy that'll get you canned next week. He makes more money than you. You know what I'm saying? Like, he's the leader of this team. They're much closer to sending Babcock out the door than they are Johnny Gaudreau. So same with Boone Jenner. I mean, these are leaders on the team that it's like, hey, I'm here. It's just like saying, oh, well, the big vice president didn't get bullied around by the, CEO or jerked around by the CEO. Yeah, but the intern did. Well, the intern didn't really have any power, or the first year associate or whatever. We hear these crazy stories. It's not like we hear, oh, senior vice president taken advantage of by, sometimes that's the case. I'm not saying but what I'm saying is the power dynamic is very vastly shifted when it comes to a new player hoping to, make it in the league. Somebody said something that is complete speculation, but makes a lot of sense. Like, the reason that kid didn't get to sit there and have lunch is because Babcock, through the conversation or through something of the pictures he saw, he decided that this kid is not going to play hockey for him anyway. Why would he waste a good bagel on this guy? I say bagel only because I have to assume that's what Babcock thinks people eat for lunch. Not saying that he doesn't know. I mean, he's like, I don't have to eat lunch. I inject fluids right into my body and I just sustain myself from this goo. But he's like, oh, we're going to have you over for a nice everything bagel for lunch, and everybody's like, well, that was weird. He's probably joking. No, but what do you think, Bob? I mean, you really, kind of leaned this way that, hey, we are getting true stories everywhere. And that's how you win these little battles, right? Is you send the guy that really only showed pictures of his family and talked and had a real conversation with the guy. You send that guy out to the forefront. No, look, we're on the up and up, you see, because this one guy said it was cool. But it was all one-on-one meetings, wasn't it? You know what I'm saying? Like, how is Johnny Gaudreau going to bat for every single meeting that he wasn't a part of? It's either, he's lying, or he's really, his credibility.
Or Johnny Gaudreau had some crazy stuff on his phone, and he's
dude. That's what I'm saying. Babcock's like, dude, you'll tell him it was cool. You're gonna tell him it was cool. He's So that might be.
I think we made a joke about Johnny Gaudreau having a picture of him and Putin somewhere.
Oh yeah, that was it. We did actually make that joke already, dude. We already implicated this guy. That's why it was crazy when you came to Babcock's defense to give that other side of that story. We just accused Johnny Gaudreau last week of being in Putin's pocket. Probably never even been in the same country as the guy at the same time. You know what I'm saying? Definitely a lot more context on that story. Rounding it more into what we thought, right? I mean, it's definitely more what we assumed that we was happening, but we're going to hold judgment. I mean,
Babcock should not be coaching anywhere.
Yeah, I mean, 100%. That's not even in question. If we're not even talking about this incident. But just this on top of it, we tried the second chance program. It didn't work. It isn't that we're going to give other people second chances and stuff, but maybe it's time to call it quits on this experiment. I mean, nobody wants to play for him as a general rule, right? Like once you're done playing for Babcock or towards the end of his tenure, it's a nightmare from what people say. So,
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
mean,
I
just
think
get
it's
just get the
time
man back
to-
to where he belongs, dude.
Yeah,
Coach
I mean,
House,
and
baby.
honestly,
Coach
the
House.
whole point of the coach house is that they stay there until the next job. I think it's time that we dim the light on Babcock on the
No,
memory wall.
let me hit you with
It's
this.
time for him
All right,
to go
Bob,
bye-bye.
Bob. That's like 80% of our revenue stream. Let me hit you with this. We make him the house mom. He can't go back out. He
Ooh.
can't leave, but he's there. You know what I'm saying? He's afoot. He's causing trouble. He's mixing it up with other, coaches.
So, I mean, then where do we put Urban Meyer? Because I assumed because Urban Meyer's got the house mom right now.
He gets a promotion, dude. He goes up to house manager. He's served his time. I mean,
Okay,
he's
nice. Yeah.
What I have to
Yeah.
assume is that Urban Meyer is covering stuff up for us in the coach house. That's 100%. 100%. He's keeping us from getting sued and making sure Coach House is still hitting top ratings every week, dude. So,
Yeah.
hey,
Yeah. I mean, the
Ignorance
cover-up
is
position was
bliss.
initially safe for Joe Paterno, but, obviously Joe Paterno can't do anything for us.
honestly, I say we, shoot for the stars, baby. You know what? To this day, we still discuss that whole thing. So, covering it up ended up making it a way bigger story. So obviously we're
Yeah.
not condoning anything like that in the coach house, but like, some partying, some illegal drugs, I assume have to happen, some strippers, some prostitutes, you know what I'm saying? Like the regular illegal stuff that like, hey, you're not supposed to do that. But like, everybody's like, yeah, I get it. I get what you're doing up there. You're not ruining lives. You're just having sex with a prostitute. I don't know. I mean, whatever, snorting cocaine or whatever, I'm sure there are people that hate that, but we can agree that there's levels. There's levels.
All right. Braden Shen unveiled as the 24th Blues captain. I mean, I don't hate it. I don't know
You
what
wanna
the
give
rest of
that-
the roster looks like, but
You want to give that another shot there?
unveiled, right? Isn't that what it says? Unveiled. as the
Unveiled.
24th Blues captain.
Unveiled.
Unveiled.
Because you got a veil on,
Potato,
the
potato.
veil. No, because otherwise, your wife would have pulled up her veil whenever she was getting married. So it's a veil. I just wanted to. This is not a zebra situation, Bob. This is nobody.
So wait, but isn't it like a reveal? The opposite of isn't it the same as revealing?
Those are different. Those are
you're
different.
unveiling
Those are
it?
different words. Unveiling is different than revealing. Please look it up, my friend. There's an absolute possibility that I spelled unveiled incorrectly, but they are different words.
I really don't like the way Google just told me, which is unveiled. Unveiled. That just seems like it's a different
Unveiled.
language.
Unveiled. Not hidden by a veil or other covering, bare. Revealed to public knowledge or scrutiny. Made evident or manifest. And so it's a
Well, guess what? You know what?
it is the same
Tanner
thing.
Pearson comes off long-term IR, putting the Canucks over the cap. Pearson traded to Montreal for Casey DeSmith and a third rounder.
Yeah, I did throw a few nuggets, fun little nuggets in there. First, somebody had the fact wrong originally, but Jim Rutherford has been involved. Originally, it was Jim Rutherford has traded Tanner Pearson 3 separate times, but it's actually he's been involved with Tanner Pearson trades 3 separate times. So sending or receiving.
Oh, okay. I see what you're saying. When you said somebody got the stat wrong, I was like, I mean, you wrote it. So you got the stat wrong.
Originally somebody corrected this.
Yeah.
I originally had that he traded him 3 times, meaning it was from his possession to another team's. But it was actually he's been involved with 3. He really does. He can't make up his mind. he likes him or not. You know, but specifically, this was a more of a cap issue. He's been on long-term IR, as the Lightning are well aware. That long-term IR paycheck doesn't really hit your cap. And so as soon as he came off, they were going to be over the cap. So this was pretty inevitable for them to need to get something or risk getting nothing. So so good move for Jim Rutherford. But the only other thing that I could find that was a little close, and maybe something has been updated since I originally read the thread. It was pretty young. But David Poile signed Chris Mason on 3 separate occasions. So
ooh, okay.
that one makes a lot more sense. I mean, not that the trading thing doesn't. It's not like Jim Rutherford's been at the same spot and there's only like 3 teams. He's moved about a little bit. So, but yeah, so that's the only other thing. Maybe I'll find some other fun nuggets next time, but those are the fun nuggets that I have for you today, Bob.
Kyle Davis says the Blackhawks won't have a captain this year, or you could say they're going to turn a blind eye to any form of captain this year in honor of Jonathan Toews.
Right. Yeah. You did see. You saw that I didn't include the honoring Jonathan Toews aspect. I think that he's just like, listen, we just want to let it. I think the quote was, we just want to let it rest a year. I'm like, yeah, I bet you do. Yeah, good call, man. Good call. Like, keep it. Yeah, that's it. That's what you need to do now is just lay low. You're going to be fine, dude. You're going to come out of this unscathed. Don't even worry. You're not even going to have to compete with White Sox, the White Sox games anymore, bro. You're going to be good to go.
Yeah. Well, he has since come out and said that they're doing it out of respect for Toews. So
that's what I said.
They're going right into there. Oh, okay. I thought you were saying they didn't say that. Okay.
Well, no, that's what they said. But another quote was, "We're just gonna let it sit for a year or something," which is the real quote. The quote's always within the quote, right? Like not the highlighted quote. Like, what are they really saying? Just like Blake Martinez. Like, I really didn't want people to feel like they were getting scammed. Like, all right, well, we appreciated that. Like, okay, thank you so much. Like, well, we all don't want people to feel like that. But you're getting scammed, but just be clear. Yeah. Just be clear.
All right. Yeah, so let's move. I haven't looked at the rest of their. I mean, I don't even know. I haven't looked at the Blackhawks roster. I don't even know if there's anybody on there that
we'll do it. We're gonna do it in the Central. We'll do it.
That'll work in the Central.
We'll discuss them.
Yeah, let's move into our outside of the NHL.
Now that you know what's happening inside the boards, time for the rest of the headlines with news from outside the boards.
Something you don't ever like to see, and that is Nick Chubb out for the season with a devastating knee injury. This is his second major knee injury to the same knee. He had a massive knee injury at Georgia. Now he has one at Cleveland, and you just hate to see that. Yeah. I mean, fantasy perspectives aside, you never want to see that. And one thing you never really want to see is there was a news article that came out, and they messed up, and they said Nick Chubb out for the season with a mortally injured or something like that. And I'm just like, wait, he's dead?
He's not mortally dead, injured. Right? I'm laughing because I'm laughing, everybody, because Nick Chubb isn't dead. Very much still alive.
Yeah. Also, mortally injured. Right. Like, he wouldn't be injured at that point.
Well, if the injury was mortal, like he was mortally injured.
But that would have called it fatal. The phrase mortally injured is like, I've never heard.
Well, you can be, if the injury was, you're mortally injured, bro. I mean, you can't wake up dead unless you go to sleep alive.
I just feel like as they just went in like a headline thing and just picked random words out of a headline.
Honestly, this is the perfect opportunity. Perfect opportunity for us. Nick Chubb, God rest his soul. Nope, Nick Chubb is very much alive. Yeah, man, it was devastating. I didn't see it happen, and so I stupidly go and pull it up. Shouldn't have done that. Don't do it. Don't do it. It's devastating. Big props to the NFL though. If it wouldn't have been for fantasy, I barely would have even been able to know that this injury happened and was so devastating. We finally, I guess, got away from the rewatching the devastating injuries 6, 7, 8 times throughout a game. Like, dude, like
I've seen it all over the place.
Well, during the game. You can't stop reporting.
Oh, okay.
Like during the broadcast. I mean, yeah, I just said, Bob, I went and looked it up immediately. That's what people do. They're gonna do it. People are gonna get clicks, but you're forcing the people that just want to watch the football game to then rehash that injury continuously over and over again. His friends and his family are watching this game. I doubt Nick Chubb's mom's going out and looking up videos of Nick Chubb injury. You know what I'm saying? Like, so that was a good thing in my mind. But yeah, man, lots of injuries. Saquon,
she might have if she saw all the mortally injured headlines. She might have gone back.
She might have gone back and took a look. Yeah, like what? She's like, honestly, not even mad, not even upset. He died. He literally died. He dead though. That's wild. I just see he just got his leg. I mean,
your boy's got some like glass knees if he's dead.
It was like, it looked pretty devastating, but like literally just for the leg area though. Like his heart looked good. Like head was full.
Yeah,
like,
he's not a horse. Yeah, he's not a horse. They didn't have to put him down because he hurt his leg.
Deshaun Watson shot him on the sideline. He's like, you're not gonna help me, buddy. Oh man, Nick Chubb was happy. That was all Deshaun Watson did to him on the sideline. He's just like, thank goodness.
Yeah.
Woo, you got the gun. That's all right, buddy.
I did see. Speaking of people assaulting people, Kareem Hunt is in Cleveland today.
He's back,
looking to get a spot in Cleveland. Yeah,
he's like, I'm back, baby.
Let's see. I know some fantasy owners are going to pick me up and be disappointed.
That is so ridiculous, Bobby. There is no way that he's available in one league that you're on. Everybody got him stashed, bro. I know it for sure.
Now I need to see if he's.
We are degenerates.
You know what?
We are degenerates with running back issues here, Bob. We got, Saquon's out. We got Aaron Jones was just out.
Maybe a Ministry of Defense.
Ministry of Defense, we're solid, dude. We are rolling through. I have not seen anybody complain once about a season-ending injury. Honestly, I've been thinking, Bob. I've been thinking maybe I'll start whittling down my offensive leagues and like literally just get into the defensive leagues game, man. Like defensive redrafts, defensive keeper league. Like that's all I care about. And then I go to people. And they're like, oh, who do you got in fantasy? Like, yeah, that guy that just absolutely smashed your quarterback right there. That guy's on my team, baby.
I'm trying to see how, like, I forget on Sleeper how to look at the waiver order in places. Like,
well, most of them are fab, but it's just going to be reverse standings. Or if it's a moving priority, then you click it. It just depends.
Because I'm 2-0, but I do have him on on waivers, and we'll see what happens in the morning, I guess.
Yeah, we'll have to see. Bob, you're halfway to being incorrect on your Cleveland call. They're almost at 2 losses already, and one has come to the Steelers. So. Obviously injuries, you can't predict that.
Wait. I said, didn't I say Cincinnati?
You said Cleveland only has 2 losses the whole season. They win the division.
In my head,
and you also said Miami goes undefeated. Okay. You're still okay in that. But long term, I don't know. I
said Cincinnati, but I guess I said Cleveland. In my head, I thought I said Cincinnati.
Definitely did not. We put Cleveland on there because we were talking Cleveland. They're going to be powerful. Cool. They're going to be powerful. You said, yeah. I mean, you're in now, but you said they're also only going to have 2 losses.
Yeah, I'm in now.
I missed the first part of my bet.
Still in there
as well. My prediction also missed the mark. The Rams did not beat the San Francisco 49ers. However, kept it tight, kept it close, looking good, still looking okay for my prediction. I still think that they can win this division. I am going to need CMC. I don't want him to get hurt. That is not what I'm saying here. I need him to be a great fantasy player that aids the team in losing. Plenty of people have done it all over the place. So figure it out.
Yeah. So let's real quick, with the power rankings out, after we're done with week 2, what are your thoughts of, I'll give you the top 4 real quick. We have 49ers, the Chiefs, the Eagles, and the Cowboys, and then the Dolphins at 5. Do you like that top 5? Would you change it?
I think I'd have Dallas at 3. Their defense is looking strong right now. The Eagles' pass defense has looked bad. Their offense has been more than keeping up with it. A weaker game against the Patriots, a divisional rival, so I definitely understand that aspect of it. I think they're right at 5. You can make the argument the Bills sitting there at 6 should be shifted in. But no, overall, looking through this list, this is the NFL.com's list. So I like it for the most part. I do a couple of switches here and there. The Bengals, I think I'd have them swapped with the Browns right now at 12 and 13. I think they need to be flipped, even with the tough news on Nick Chubb. You can't replace him, obviously. The pass offense is going to have to get better for the Saints. They're sitting at 10. I like Jacksonville at 9. Detroit at 8. That's all right. I don't know, though. I think I'd maybe have Detroit up above Baltimore at 7. Detroit has looked good. Nothing crazy outlandish. The Jets at 11 is a joke, though. Let's be honest. That everybody, I think they're 15 after this last game. It took the Bills having a horrendous game.
What do you think about the Commanders there at 19?
I
feel like that's too low.
No, they didn't.
Maybe I'm being
good.
biased.
Yes, you are, because Arizona put it to them pretty early, and they're not getting Dotson involved at all. Brian Robinson kept them in the game.
What I meant by too low was the numbers too low. I don't think they should be that high.
You should be low.
So I think that they're worse than what they are.
No, falling behind.
I think I would put them at I would put them behind Tampa.
I think I would flip flop them in Tampa or move Tennessee to 21. I think Tampa is a stronger team than the Titans and the Commanders right now. Agreed.
Yeah.
And even going up the list,
Tampa should be a solid 15.
I think Tampa is yes. I think 16, 17, 18 is not wrong to say for Tampa. They are looking strong. They could absolutely implode at any moment, but they haven't, and they have monster weapons. They have monster receivers. Don't hate that call at all. Could see Minnesota. They're sitting at 22. It's been a tough couple draws for them. The Rams at 24, I don't like either. I think that they show that they're better than the Broncos, and realistically, they've shown they're better than the Manders as well. I think better than Tampa too. So I'm not so sure how sold I am on the back half of this list. They have Arizona at 32, Houston at 31, Colts at 30, and the Bears at 29. Let me hit you with this. They have this wrong. No, Arizona is more competent than I thought they would be. Shift all those teams up one. I think the Bears are the last ranked team to me. They have looked horrible.
Yeah, I really thought Justin Fields was just going to have an explosive year. I thought the Bears were going to come out swinging, but oof.
Absolutely still could. It took him till week 6 to realize, oh, this guy's good at running. We should design run. Somebody ran into he woke up one night and he just ran straight to, he didn't even get in his car. He just ran to the facility. Coach, I just thought of this. Why don't we do a thing where we draw the play and it's Justin Fields and he's running it? And the guy was like, oh my gosh, yeah, yes. And they started doing 6 of those a game and went on a 6-game win streak and looked fairly competent. The reason that we thought they were going to be able to kind of follow that up this year with better weapons and an additional year of a quarterback, and they didn't do that. They're back to 2 designed runs a game. If you're losing this bad, why are you not trying everything? DJ Moore, early on in the game, we talked about how, wow, what a wasted effort from DJ Moore. Can't believe they went and got him. Got him like 100 yards in the first quarter and a touchdown. And you're like, okay, figured it out. And then they were like, all right, so that did work. Put that on the list. Put that on the list of things that worked. Let's try the other things. Like it was just mind-blowing. It's mind-blowing how gross watching this team play football is. Like I expected it to, I never expected them to be great, but I expected it to at least be fun,
Yeah. I will say, looking at the top teams, I do think that Miami, I think it should go. I like San Francisco at 1. I agree with that.
Yeah.
I think they should flip-flop the Chiefs and the Dolphins.
Nah.
I think move
not to
Miami
me.
to 2, move the Chiefs to 5.
Chris, I hear you.
But I'm high on the Dolphins this year.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, keep them at underdogs for you, Bob. You don't want them to get too much hype. The 72 Dolphins will be pissed, okay? So you just keep them low-key. You're on your way.
Oh, I want all the hype.
2 down. 15 to go. 15 to go, Bob. You got it, baby. You got it. Who do they got this week?
Statistically, they're on the right path.
Who's your Fins got this week, bro?
I'd have to look it up and see. I have no idea right now.
I got you. You move us in. I'm gonna go find out who your Fins are playing, bro.
Yep. I will in a second. My computer has decided to. There we go. Maybe there we go. All right. So main topic of the day: Atlantic Division Review Part Dos. Starting out with the Buffalo Sabres. Last season, 42, 33, and 7 with 91 points. Finished 5th in the Atlantic Division under the head coaching of Don Granato, which I guess that means he's the head of the Granato family. I mean, that's
one would say. Well, unless his wife is. I mean, his wife. I mean, hey, this is 2023, buddy. I'm not here to just say.
Yeah. Well, then she would be the Don, not him.
That's true. Well, no, maybe he's just Donald. He's Donald. I wasn't.
The Don. Just everyone out there. I wasn't saying he's a man. He's the head of the household. I was making a joke off his first name. People.
Oh, absolutely.
I don't want to get canceled.
I was adding to the joke. Everybody, he was not. Yeah. He loves women. Loves them. Thinks they should do anything.
Yeah.
I don't know what. He never told me. Never quite mentioned it. It's now that we're thinking on it. He's kind of just gotten away with me thinking that he thinks women can do things. He never actually said it, everybody. So keep that in mind.
All right. Their preseason odds. Their Stanley Cup preseason odds are currently at plus 10,000. So again, that's just one of the, I feel like they're just throwing numbers out. Their points leader last season was Tage Thompson. Goals leader, Tage Thompson. Assist leader is Rasmus Dahlin. I mean, I see them missing the playoffs again. I'm not super high on them. I think they're just kind of floating in that spot.
I think agreed. I do think that we see another big year from Tage Thompson, though. I think he's going to absolutely dominate. Everybody's going to be pissed off. He's wasting away. He's going to be pissed off. He's wasting away in Buffalo. He'll get traded. I mean, we've seen this story before, right, Bob? This is not new. Yeah. Luckily, I usually have the longer portion. You just kind of say what happened last year, and I kind of go in and do all the ads and the departures. Not a whole lot of that today, Bob. They're not attempting to rehaul this roster, which is interesting, which kind of speaks to our point of more of the same. Notable offseason moves: signing Eric Johnson, which is great, for us fantasy folks that know. It's going to be good for a few hits late in the week when you need to shore up some of those categories. Sign Connor Clifton, and key departures are Craig Anderson. So that was it. That's really all of the roster changes. So what we thought last year, the same-ish. I should mention Owen Power from the draft as well. A notable addition,
Okay.
but definitely not the saving grace for not making a lot of offseason moves for sure. Tough division. It's I think I don't. They missed by 1 point last year. I think they start really strong, and it's in that realm. I think they are in it in the last week to 2 weeks of games.
I agree. All right. The Ottawa Senators last season, 39-35-8 with 86 points, finished 6th in the division under head coach DJ Smith. Stanley Cup odds currently at plus 5,000. Their points leader, Tim Stützle. Goal leader, Tim Stützle. And the assist leader, you guessed it, Tim Stützle. Brady Tkachuk was second in all of those. And same with Claude Giroux. In fact, it looks like nope. Okay, no, Alex DeBrincat was fourth in all but the assists.
Yeah, definitely disappointing.
He was 1 point short of being the top one.
Definitely a disappointing season there for DeBrincat. I think we both expected a little more. Still not a playoff team. They did make some moves. Eunice Corpusalo signed him. I think that is a good move. A good move for them. Vladimir Tarasenko definitely can add, some depth and some veteran presence and some scoring. Not sure what Tarasenko we're going to see in my mind. So a good signing nonetheless. Acquired Dominic Kubalik as well. As you noted, you talked about Alex DeBrincat, but he has departed. He got traded to another team we're about to talk, and which is so funny, man, how often teams trade within their division, because it doesn't matter in hockey like it does in like football and stuff like that. It is just odd to me. And then Cam Talbot as well is a notable departure. But again, signing Corpusalo, I think that's a better have for sure. I don't expect much from this team. I was expecting a little more when DeBrincat kind of came into town, and why did he choose to go there type of deal. Maybe he knows something we don't know, but they did finish strong last year. So with a 94 point pace, but in this league, you have to do it all year, or it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter what you did over your final 62 games. Those first 20 can make or break you. So hopefully they'll start strong and be in a spot, for their sake.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah. Let's see. Up next, we've got the Detroit Red Wings, 35-37-10 last season at 80 points, finished 7th in the division under Derek Lalonde. Plus 5,000 preseason odds. Their point leader was Dylan Larkin. Their assist leader, Dylan Larkin, and their goal leader, Dylan Larkin. Outside of him, not much is going on as far as like playmakers. There's not a lot of. I'm not seeing a lot of upside. I would like to see more out of Tyler Bertuzzi.
He's not there anymore.
Oh, that's right. He's not there anymore. I forgot about that. That's why I was looking at
So,
the stats. I was like, wow,
I'm going
these
to tell
stats
you,
are really bad.
Bobby, I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to spoil it for you. You're not going to see
Yeah.
anything from Bertuzzi. It's
Yeah.
almost like he's not even going to be there.
Yeah.
No,
I mean, we'll see some stuff from him in Detroit, but it won't be on a consistent basis. Maybe 4 times in a season.
I disagree. I'm going to actually say that this is my surprise team that is either battling for that third spot or shoring up a wild card spot. Some questionable moves for sure. Signed Justin Hall, signed Shane Gossesbear, Shane James Reimer, signed Daniel Sprong, signed JT Comfer, signed Christian Fisher, acquired and signed Clem Costin, and then obviously acquired DeBrincat. The key departures being Kubalik, Alex Nedeljkovic, and P.S. Suter. I'm not sure I'm not sure their current goalie situation. Nedeljkovic, I think, ended up not being their main goalie for the most part.
Let's see. They've got Avil Huso, John Letherman, James Reimer.
Yeah, so I believe Huso. It's maybe I'm wrong. Maybe I'm just thinking. I just feel this is a team that has been young. It's kind of waiting in the wings. A strong set of three defensive pairings. Larkin, got that contract. DeBrincat, maybe he comes in, he has a better fit here. JT Comfer is kind of that do-it-all guy, that guy that can get a few things done. My worry for my prediction most certainly is going to be goaltending. I mean, isn't it always?
Yes.
If you're outside of 4 or 5 goalies in the league? So I'm not making excuses for my prediction. I'm saying that's the area of the prediction of which I would not be surprised if I was burned. Hey, that's the business of making predictions, Bobby. Sometimes you just got to embarrass yourself. You just got to put yourself out there and say, hey, I think Detroit is going to be 3rd in the Atlantic on 9/19, 21 days before the season starts. And if they start terribly, nobody's ever going to remember this. That's bold moves, buddy.
Right,
it's bold moves.
The Montreal Les Habitants last season, 31-45 and 6 at 68 points, 8th in the division under head coach Martin St. Louis, and captained by Nick Suzuki, plus 15,000 odds. Let's see, last year's points leader, Nick Suzuki, assist leader, Nick Suzuki, and goal leader, Nick Suzuki, with Cole Caulfield actually tied for goals. And Caulfield was 3rd in points at 36. So obviously Nick Suzuki is really heading that team off.
Got the bag too. Got the bag.
I will say is that Carey Price more than likely will not be playing this season at all due to his knee injury.
Right. Yeah, that was expected. Not expecting a lot. Probably 8th again in the Atlantic. They did acquire and sign Alex Newhook. Acquired Jeff Petrie. I think he's gone though. I think he was in and out as well. Acquired Casey DeSmith again, in and out. He is. We already told you about the trade. So key departure would be Casey DeSmith. Key addition would be. Wow. It's like I didn't even talk about this. Tanner Pearson. Duh. Some key departures, though. Jonathan Drouin, Dennis Gurianov, Joel Edmondson, and Mike Hoffman.
Okay.
They were... Yes. No. Jeff Petrie is... That is where they landed. Jeff Petrie did land with the Canadians again. And then I think he went somewhere else, but Sam Montembaum, Balt, and Jake Allen will be in the net. DeSmith was there. He's obviously gone again. I think he was probably the odd man out anyway. Nothing super notable about this team. I think they're wanting to be bad. I think they're going to be bad. but we will see. This is a scrappy team. It's like they keep making people scared. They're a little scrappy and so like the ownership keeps sending people out. They're like, no, no, we'll trade for them to help us get rid of something so we can then get rid of this. So we'll see. We'll have to see what their game plan is. The predictions that this site has, I'm going to give you the predictions, points and everything. You tell me thought process, where you at. They have Maple Leafs 107 points, the Lightning at 99 points, the Sabres at 96 points, the Bruins at 94 points, being the wild card 2, Senators at 91 points, Panthers at 90, Red Wings at 85, Canadians at 74. Obviously, I've disagreed a little bit. I do think that the Red Wings are going to be a little higher up there. I think they're going to be surprising. There always is a team. It's not going to land just like this. Would not be surprised if they are right on the Sabres. A lot of the things that we ended up kind of talking up led to maybe they be good. So I wouldn't be surprised of that. The only thing I think, kind of looking back, I think that, wild card 2, 90, 94 points for the Bruins is about right. That area. Overall, a strong division across the board. It really is anybody's game at this point in my mind. Not anybody's, but most people have a realistic shot. Have a realistic shot of being
but realistically,
technically anybody's. But I mean, I would say I would not be surprised if 6 of these teams are shuffling pretty early in the season for their positioning.
Yeah, I agree. All right, let's move into joke of the week.
The weird. Corey Perry. See, I don't like this. Wild.
I think the first read was a good one. Now I'm overthinking it.
Outlandish.
Each 6th chick sat on a stick. Little tongue twister.
And downright dumb.
You're kidding me.
It's time for the joke of the week.
All right, this one comes right out of our own backyard, right in Murfreesboro, Tennessee. So, I want to preface this by saying 5 days ago, the headline was
5 days ago, everyone. 5 days ago.
E. coli found in Murfreesboro drinking water test. Then 4 days ago, we've got false positive E. coli scared Murfreesboro water sample. Now, I would also like to say this test was taken a month ago. So that's how long it takes for them.
So they were like, no. They were like, dude, how do we go back a month? Like, honestly, after a month, you're not seeing anything. Do you even tell anybody at that point? Like,
well, what I'm saying is the test was taken a month ago.
That's what I'm saying.
People know of the E. coli 5 days ago.
No, that's what I'm saying.
It's
the test takes so long to come back. Dude, y'all have been, if they're right, if it's like one of those things like, oh, if they're right, then everybody has been drinking E. coli for a month. And then at that point, Bob, what's the point of blowing this whistle up? You guys are all, I mean, we got to tell at some point, but like, we don't have to go into a full blown panic. It's been 25 days and we've got no bad reports at this point. I'm just being a devil's advocate here. Maybe we should hold up before we tell everybody. Somebody's like, no, send the email now. And that was funny that it was an email. Like, hey, get the email out. Wrote it on a typewriter.
Sent to people who didn't have emails.
Dude, in like 4 days, some people are going to be scared as shit until 5 days. And then they're going to be good. And then they're going to be good next day when the mail comes out and they're like, oh man, that is funny, dude.
This is just like, I mean, because the crazy thing is, like, being here, I saw it. Like,
you saw the E. coli,
the email. My sister,
you were like, that's it.
Yeah. But But yeah, like my mom, she went out and bought a bunch of gallons of water. My sister-in-law, she's pregnant, so she was like freaking out, so she got a bunch of water. Then they're like, ooh, nope. It almost makes you think that Murfreesboro, like, Public Works got a payoff from like big water.
Big water, dude. Which you said like, oh, that's like a funny big water. No, big water's for real, bro. Nestle, I would not be surprised if they had an agent there. Yeah, that's pretty.
An E. coli agent, yeah.
That's pretty funny. I'm like,
And the thing is, people were like, wait a second, you got it wrong in the first time. How do we know you saying it's a false positive isn't also wrong?
Right.
Obviously,
and like
your testing screwed
again,
up.
it takes it like a month. Obviously, it's taken you this long to get the results back. Why did somebody take the second sample so closely? There's so many unanswered questions that I have about testing drinking
But also,
water.
they don't know what the term false positive is, because they said it's a false positive. They tested a bad source that was contaminated. No. Then that's not a false positive. That's
you do
a real
know
positive from a wrong source.
You did it. No, we want that to happen. We don't want to, everybody's like, get rid of the testing kit. It's like, nope. Testing kits are, what I more want to know, Bob, is that you said, no, we tested a contaminated source. I'm sorry, what? I'm sorry, excuse me. Why does the water department, like labs and like CDC and like, secure medical facility, sure, we got to have this stuff so we can test it, we can know. But I don't think Gary at the water department should have access, just have like to the point where there's a mix up and Gary, but also where's Gary? He just reached in and grabbed the contaminated sample. He's like, all right, send it off.
It's a swab from his mouth.
Runs his hand in there.
So the way it works is
this the way that they told you how it works, Bob?
Well, this is the way that they reportedly how it works.
Okay,
is that they go to houses. They don't go to they go to like people's houses, like on a list, both upstream and downstream of the source of like where they pump the water in. And they're supposed to go into the kitchen or somewhere within the house that comes out of a faucet. What they did, though, I guess because they were being lazy, is they used outdoor spigots, like where you connect a hose pipe. And they said that what happens is spiders get in there and stuff, and then the spiders can contaminate it. And it's like,
contaminate it.
Iffy. I mean, whatever.
But again, contaminate it with E. coli? Is that known? Like we're aware?
That's what they're saying.
We're aware that E. coli. I like drink out of the hose, like not like a lot, but like enough to where like, hey, throw a warning shot to a guy.
Yeah, like football teams all across the country are giving the boys water out of hoses.
Just dead. Just a coli is rampant. We don't even know. We're immune to it. If you've ever drank from a hose, you're actually good when the E. coli outbreak. That's when you run out and you buy the lettuce and you buy all that stuff for cheap. Like, oh, I'm throwing it away. Don't worry. No, I'm immune. Apparently I drank from a hose when I was a kid, and now I didn't become Spider-Man, but apparently spiders did give me powers to absorb E. coli. So I'm good. I'm good to go.
Yeah.
That's a good one, man. Sorry about the scare.
I almost said I almost said something because I this whole time we were talking about E. coli, and in my head I thought we were talking about West Nile virus. So I'm like, man, we're immune to West Nile virus. No, we're definitely not. That's definitely much worse.
No,
that's
Bobby's like, bite me, mosquitoes. You have no power here. Bobby's like, yep, got West Nile. but Bobby, remember what I've told you before. The thing is, West Nile, generally, no symptoms. You very well could have West Nile, dude, is the thing. We wouldn't.
If you're listening to this, you definitely could have West Nile right now.
There is a 100% chance that there is a 100% possibility that you could be exposed to West Nile at some point.
You 100% have it.
100%. So take that as you will. If the Murfreesboro Water Department can get away with being like, dude, everybody's drinking water has E. coli, I can just make up facts as well. Like, You know, like it seems like it's pretty crucial to follow the rules on the drinking water testing thing. Like y'all have just been getting away with it this long, and like you know what I'm saying. There's so many questions that I have. Like, how long has this guy been on the force? Also, do water departments call themselves the force? I'm just I don't know, man.
How long you been on the force? Well, since the E. coli outbreak.
Oh, I didn't know you were a police officer. It's like, what? This is hey, buddy. This is a water department bar. You need to get out. What? All right, now
is this the same as a firefighter bar? No, we work with them, but
no. What? But now, I mean, we know it's Murfreesboro. We don't have to question where it is. What's their bar? What's the water department bar, Bobby?
Ooh. I mean, I'm thinking MJ's.
Oh, okay. Okay, let me hit you with this though. There's less than a 0% chance that they go to anywhere where you can't smoke inside. We've narrowed it down to like 3 places in Murfreesboro, and I'm gonna go ahead and tell you, I think they're Dirty Jim's boys. With a soft handlebar vibe, dude. They may have been delegated to
Handlebar. Since Handlebar doesn't exist anymore, so now it would just be.
What did you say?
Now I guess it's just Dirty Jim's. So unfortunately the owner of Jim's passed away, and his motorcycle club bought it, and now it's just a clubhouse for the motorcycle club. And, so it's no longer like an open restaurant to the public.
So it's not. I mean, so it's not just like open to the public. Obviously.
No,
I could go and hang out, dude. No question. I could be friends.
Yeah, 100% you could. Yes,
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
But so the real truth comes out. They were handlebar guys. They're disgruntled. They're like, I'm gonna cause a fake panic over E. coli, dude.
Or is the Public Works Department the motorcycle club?
Ooh, what would they gain for that?
I mean, I don't know, some sort of organized crime stuff. Who knows?
That's true. Well, but I mean, you got access to, but you don't do a false positive of E. coli as your big deal, unless that's what they wanted the news cycle to be on. What are they hiding? What are the Public Works water department people that hang out at the motorcycle club hiding?
Listen, they are distracting the public with this while they steal a truckload of VHS and DVD Blu-ray players. It is exactly the skit.
Fast and the Furious 1
the plot of Fast and Furious. Yeah.
Oh my god.
They're gonna make like $300 off that load.
That's sick, dude. Yeah, that's such a good idea. They're taking it down to like the buy-sell trade, like a CD warehouse or something. I don't know where. There's no McKay's in Murfreesboro. That's the only place I know. Like a Great Escape. I guess y'all probably have a Great Escape.
Yeah, I saw a meme. It was like a picture of like the haul from Fast and Furious 1. It's like they were like, at this time this was worth like $500,000.
Yeah,
and it's like now I think they estimated of what it would be worth now, and they said and for some of these things it would cost more to get rid of it than you could actually sell it for.
Oh yeah, no doubt. Like tear downs, bro. And yeah, I would never move if I lived in Fast and Furious 1 house. I would just call it that too. I'd just be like, oh, come over to my house. It's Fast and Furious 1 house.
But all right, let's move into what's snapping your stick.
Bobby and Brandon are about to find out exactly what snaps their sticks.
All right, so obviously enjoyed another perfect weekend of 7 hours of commercial-free football. However, YouTube TV has a little bit of an issue with if you, for whatever reason, hit the remote and you get like stuck up or you hit rewind or something, there's no easy thing just be like go live. You have to exit out, shut down, come back, and reload Red Zone to get caught up live.
I'm definitely
and it's just
sure.
very not user friendly.
You can
at least
no,
I will say at least
let me tell you. I'm gonna just clear this up for you.
On the Apple TV of my mom's.
You go in this little bar, and then fast forward it when you're on the bar. It'll push it forward to the live.
Well, I was doing that, and I think it's also it's also the Apple TV. My mom has an original version Apple TV, Apple TV 1, and so it's
that
not
was
great.
That was like made in like 2000, dude.
Yeah.
Your mom. I don't know what your mom is doing. I know she's gonna listen to this. Paula, today it's 9:19. I want you to ask yourself how much money you spent on some dumb shit today, and ask why you can't spend $45 and get a new Apple TV. I'll wait. You text me when you hear this. You text me the answer to that. But mostly, I want the answer of like, I'll bet you money you spent like $45 on like a wine that you're like, I don't even really like this wine, but it's on sale or something. I'm calling it, Paula. You've spent more today than it would cost you to get a new Apple TV to save my boy Bob here, bro. Because I also am having some issues myself with my NFL Plus app. It works fine. Every once in a while, if I don't press a button, and I'm watching 7 hours of uninterrupted football, I ain't touching that remote. You could put that bad boy in a glass case and I wouldn't need it, okay? But it'll randomly pop out of the app. And so very similar to your problem, I got probably, 7 hours and 52 minutes of uninterrupted commercial-free football. But, that ain't, Bob. Come on, Bob. That ain't 7. 6 hours and 52 minutes. That ain't 7 hours. That ain't 7 hours at all.
I was about to say, if you got 7 hours and 52 minutes, I need to figure out what you're doing.
You're
getting an extra hour.
I did get a shout out this week on my fantasy live stream podcast. Or not a shout out. It wasn't a shout out. It wasn't a shout out. They just answered my question. It was not helpful.
I thought you were going to say that you got a shout out from Scott Hansen. I was about to be like, what?
No, just my fantasy live stream.
But all right, guys, that about wraps it up. By the way, I did want to say I looked at it real quick. My mom's Apple. I don't know what the current iOS version is on. Her Apple TV uses iOS 13. I don't know, and I think you guys are like on 20 now or 18 or something like that. So, yeah, really goes to show you just how old that thing is. But all right, guys, it's been a great time. Thanks for joining us another week. We'll see you guys all again next week where we are talking about the Central Division. Until then, be kind to one another. See ya.
Peace.
Thanks for listening to the Pucks Out Podcast. To see what other ridiculousness the guys are up to, check them out on Twitter and Instagram @PucksOutPod.